So in the last episode, we just created this empty, actually fresh Drupal installation, and then we created this index.html file in our project. So the project is called Movies app, and then we just added some HTML to our index.html file, and in the app.js we started writing in Vue a little bit. So I just show you how you can do this. So two-way data binding, and how you can list out some array with some objects in it, how you can list those names right here. So if we check out our code, it looks like this. Okay, so in this episode we are actually going to make our movies data type or field, actually content type, in Drupal, and then we're going to populate it a little bit, and then we're going to learn how we can connect that content with our movies app. So we are going to use this Drupal installation as an API, and then with that API we are going to just suck out the data from Drupal and display it on our page. So first of all, we are just going to go to structure and then to content types and create a new content type. So if you don't exactly know what I'm doing, you can check out the Drupal theming series. We did all of this there, so you can check that out. But because I'm just going to go fast through this Drupal configuration, so we're just going to add a new content type called movies, and then just do save and manage fields, and we're going to add few fields to it. So first field is going to be text plain, and it's going to be director. Title is going to be used as the title of the movie. So just save and continue. Number of values will be limited, and we just save these field settings and save settings. Okay, so let's add another field. This one is going to be text plain also, and the label is going to be actress. Okay, save and continue. We're going to set this to unlimited, save field settings, and just save settings. And also we are going to add one more field, and it's going to be image. So we are referencing an image, and it's going to be called movie poster. And just do save and continue. Okay, no default image, public files. Okay, limited number of values is going to be 1. We're just going to have one movie poster. And okay, let me just see this. This all looks okay. Just save settings, and that's it. So we created a movie content type, and then we can go to structure, not structure but content, and we can just add some new content. So the content we want to add is movies. Okay, so as you can see, we have these fields. So this would be the title of our movie. This is going to be director. We can add a few actors right here and choose a movie poster. So I'm just going to add a first movie right now, and then all the other movies I'm going to add behind the scenes. So the first movie is Inception, and we just copy out this body to have a little body tag, actually body content. So director is Christopher Nolan, and then we have some actors right here. So it's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio, and then add another item. We can add Joseph Gordon-Levitt right here, and Ellen page. Okay, and I'm just going to save this image to my desktop. So save it right here, and then I'm going to add this image right here. So we go to desktop, open it up, and just save and publish. Alternative text is going to be Inception. Okay, we have to fill that field in, and that's it. We have our, of course, in this series we are not going to be worried about the look of these pages, so we are just going to call those movies right here, so we don't care how this looks. Okay, so now I'm going to add a few more movies behind the scenes, so we have some data that we can work with. So now I added two more movies. So now we have The Big Lebowski, American Beauty, and Inception right here. I fill out some data. Okay, so the next thing we have to do to get this data to our Vue.js application, we have to first go to Extend, and then right down here you have these web services. So this is the Drupal's RESTful web services which we need to get that data to our application. So we are just going to click right here, click install, and wait a few seconds. Okay, once those are enabled, the thing we have to do now is we have to make a view for ourselves. So we did views in the Drupal 8 series, Drupal 8 theming series. We did views there, and we are going to do something very similar right here. So we are just going to go to structure, views, and then I'm going to actually add a new view and call this view movies API. Movies API, and then you don't choose page settings, blog settings, you have to choose this REST export settings. So provides a REST export, click this and do a path right here. So the path for us is going to be API movies. Okay, click save and edit. Okay, so this is mostly set up for us right now. So we have this format serializer, we can show entity and so on. So as you can already see, we have some data right here. So if we look, we have this target ID movies, and then we have value American Beauty and so on. So this is the type of data we need to get to our Vue.js application. I'm just going to do one thing right here, and that's to add filter criteria. So if you have anything else on this site. Okay, so seems like I'm having a problem. So I'm just going to do open link in the new window, and then we're going to say type. Actually no, we're going to find it. This happened to me in the episode about Drupal 8, so this is some kind of a bug in Drupal, I don't know, that it doesn't open a modal window for us, but we have to click on this. So we're going to choose this entity type right here. Actually not. Let's find another type, we don't need that one. Okay, type content, okay, and then save and configure filter criteria, and then I'm going to say is one of movies, so that we only get those movies in our Drupal API. So this is going to filter out just the movies. So if you have some kind of pages, or I don't know, some kind of other content type like articles or something else, events, this API would filter out just the movies. So we don't want pages, articles, and whatever. So just click apply right here. Okay, we still get this, and that's it. We just click save. Okay, so if you remember, when we started doing this, we defined a path. So this is that path, API movies. So right now, if I go to movies api.dev/API/movies, I should get something like this. Of course, you may get this, something like this, but I'm getting this pretty output because I'm using this plugin for Chrome. I can't remember what it's called right now. So it parses your JSON data and presents it like this, so it looks a little bit more prettier. But if you get something like this, that's also okay. So if we check out this data, we can see that we have this value 3, then we have target ID is movies, the value, so this is the American Beauty. So what else do we have? So the URL to the user, then we have this body, then we have our actors, then we have our director, movie poster, so we got the HTTP or URL of the movie poster and so on. So we can use this data to present it in our Vue.js application, and we are going to do that right now. So to get that data, first of all, we have to install a plugin for Vue.js, which will let us do those HTTP requests to our API very easily. So you could use pure JavaScript to do that, or you could use jQuery to do that, but we are going to use this Vue resource. So it's on GitHub, Vue.js, Vue resource, and you just go to, well, let me just show you from the beginning. So you just go to dist and just go to Vue resource.min.js. I'm going to add it to our project this way. I'm just going to click raw right here, and then I'm going to copy everything out and just go to our project, create a new file in our JS directory, and I'm going to call it Vue resource.js. Okay, paste it in. So this is Vue resource plugin. Just save it. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my index.html file and add, before app.js, I'm going to add that Vue resource.js file. Okay. Okay, did I write this correctly? Vue resource, and is called Vue resource. Okay, that's good. So now we have Vue resource, and with Vue resource we can make easy HTTP requests to our API. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a global variable right here, and I'm going to call it API URL equals to, so it's going to equal to our movies API. So I'm just going to copy this one out and paste it right here. I'm doing this so that I don't have to write every time I want to make a request to that API that I don't have to write all of this. I will just do API URL. Okay, so the next thing we have to do, so Vue.js has methods. So we are going to create a method that will get all of the data from our API to the Vue. So to do that, you just do methods, open it up, And then we're going to create a new method and we're going to call it get movies or something like that. We're going to call it get movies. So now we just do get movies. Okay, and it's a function, of course. Function, and then in that function we call this view resource that we already did. So we're going to do this dot http, so to do that request, and then we're going to make a get request to our API. So we just do get. Okay, open up this, and then we have to add a URL for our API. Since we put it in this API URL variable, we can just do API URL, and then we just do another function which is going to take in our movies. Okay, and then we open up curly braces, and then we do just this. So this set, and then we do movies. Okay, so we set our data to be movies, to be called movies, because we already defined that we are getting something in this function. So this set movies, and now we can just console log that out to see if we get anything. So I'm just going to do console log .log to see what kind of information we got. Okay, save this, and if we go to our browser right now and refresh this, let's see what we get. So if we go to console, we actually didn't get anything because of course I forgot to do something. And what I forgot to do is, so this is a method, and this method isn't called yet, so we didn't call it. So first of all, we have to say to Vue.js, okay, once you initialize, please do something. And to do that, you just do this ready. So this is something like document ready in JavaScript. So you just do ready. So what should the application do once it's ready? This is of course going to be a function. Okay, and then we do this get movies. So we are calling this method get movies when the application is ready. And just save this, and if we go right here, okay, so we did get something. Okay, so we tried to connect to our API, but something was wrong. So access control allow origin header is present under request resource and so on. Okay, so what happened right here? So the problem is on Chrome and probably on other browsers, it doesn't let you do those kind of connections very easily between two different domains. So our first domain is moviesapi.dev and this domain is moviesapp.dev. So the Chrome, because of some security reasons, doesn't allow us to connect to it that easily. So what you have to do is install this course plugin. So you can find it right here. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for this, and just add it to Chrome. And then you can set it to this green, so enable cross origin resource sharing, and this should work now. But of course in the other videos, so in the next video, I don't know exactly which one, we're not going to have this enabled. So of course when you put your application to the internet, you don't want to tell your users, okay, so for this to work you have to install this course. Of course not. We're going to make some authentication methods and so on, and then it will work cross domain. But for now, and since we don't have any kind of authentication, this is a little bit iffy. So we have to install this course. And now that I enabled it, let's see if we get something. Okay, so as you can see, we got this object right here. And as you can see, it has three things in it. I suppose these are our three movies. So great, so now we got movies, so now we got this application connected to the API and we're sucking up those movies. So now we are going to display them on this page. Okay, so if we check out the data we are getting, let's try to get the titles of our movies. So as you can see, this is an array which has an object in it, and then that object has another array called title, and it has a value. So, and the value is American Beauty for this movie. So to access it, we would have to go to index.html, and I'm just going to do a div right here. So let me just do an HR tag before that. And then we're just going to do br, oh come on, br, okay. And then I'm going to just do something like this, div, and like we did for the names, we're going to do v4, and since our data is called movies, so we are going to do movie in, and the data we are getting is called movies. So we are going to do movie in movies. We have to iterate this through this for each loop, and then we are going to do something like h4, and now we can do, so we can access it directly. So we can just do movie and then title, because title is an array with value. So to do that, we have to do movie dot title, okay, and then we want to get the first value of that array, and the first value is going to always be 0, okay, and then we do value. So we are accessing it through title, so this is the first value, so not this but this, so this object is the first value, and we do the value of that object. It's a little bit complicated maybe, but we just do title 0 value, and that should be it. If we save this, go to our movies app and refresh it, we get American Beauty, The Big Lebowski, and Inception. Okay. So the next thing we wanna get should maybe be director. So I'm just going to do, I don't know, p tag right here and do something like strong and say director, close this tag out, and just like we did for the title, we would do movie dot title, of course. Let's see how the director looks. So let me just find him. So it's right here. So it's called field director, not title. I don't know why I did that. So field director, and we get the first object of it. So the first value is an object with the value of Sam Mendes. So I'm just going to do value again. Okay, and that should be it. If we go to our movies app, refresh it, we get director and nothing. I did something wrong. Let me just see. Okay, so what is this T field? It should be just field director. Okay, if we refresh it, okay, now it works. I'm just going to put a space right here so it looks a little bit better. Okay, so director is Sam Mendes. Now for the actors. Actors are a bit different because if we go, if you remember when we did that movie content type, the actors could have multiple values. So the way that Drupal saves that, if we go, I think it's up here, where our, okay, so this field actors actually has 3 objects in it. So we could do something like, I don't know, I'm just going to write it down here. So we could do something like movie and then dot and then do field actors and then do 0 and do value. Is it the value? Yes, it is. Okay, save it. And what we would get, as you will see, we would just get the first name. But of course, we don't know how many names there are going to be right here. So for every movie right now, we have actually 3 actors. So if you are 100% sure that this array is going to have only 3 values, then you could do something like this. So 1 and 2, and then if we refresh it, we should get all the actors, of course. But we don't want to do it that way, because one movie can have only 1 actor inputted, and the other movie can have maybe 5 actors and so on. So we have to go through another for each loop to display all of our actors. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do strong and say actors. Okay, put a br tag right here, br, and I'm going to open up a span, and then in that span I'm going to do v4. So we are opening another for each loop, and I'm going to say actor in, and since we have to go through this field right now, we can just copy it out and paste it right here. So actor in movie field actors. So we are going to go through this array right here and get those values. So it should be something like actor dot value. Okay, I think that should be it. Let me just see. So we still get those actors. We can just put a br tag after each span and refresh it. Okay, so this br tag didn't do its job very well. Let's put a br tag right here. Okay, so now we get actors and then Kevin Spacey. Okay, so that's it. And just one more field that we have to do is, of course, I'm just going to put HR right here. And one more field that we have to do is movie poster. So we can find it right here. So as you can see, this movie poster is also an array with an object with some values in that object, so some properties. So what we are going to do is we are going to do something like image, and then we are going to say movie dot. So since we only have one movie poster, we limited it to 1. We can just do field movie poster, get the first object of it, so 0, and then we do dot URL. So we want to get this URL right here. So we do URL, and that should be it, I think. Okay, so for some reason those images don't actually work. Let me just see, did we? Oh no, I didn't close out these curly braces. Okay, so I think it should work now. Okay, so now we get movie posters, and then we can also get an alt tag for it. So alt equals, and we just do curly braces again and do movie, and then we do field poster, field movie poster, and it's called, this property is called alt, so American Beauty. Okay, save this, refresh it, and then if we go to this image right here, we should have this alt American Beauty. So that's it. So this is the way we connect to our API and get the data from it. In the next episode, we are going to filter through that data using the power of Vue.js. As you will see, it will be pretty cool. Okay, so we are going to call it a day right here. As I said, in the next episode, we are going to filter those movies. Also, thank you guys for watching. Please follow me on Twitter or on Facebook. Like this video if you like it. Like the channel, actually subscribe to the channel if you like the content on it. Don't forget, everything that we did right here will be available on GitHub. The link will be in the description below. And I think that's it. I will also leave you with this course, actually this course link down, so that you can install it on your Chrome. And I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the next episode.